Hi again.
There's a cat hair suspended in midair. Sorry.
What?
Sorry. I got distracted by floating cat hair. Hi again. When do you flip your lights for autos?
Sorry.
Hi again. Were you about to get kung fu on that?
Hi again.
Hey! Cobra Kai up in here. Cobra High again.
We are here to talk about your auto light schedule.
When do you flip those lights for auto?
When is it a good time to flip my auto lights?
Guys, we wanted to make a video just touching on kind of a simple subject, and maybe you know, but maybe you don't, because we do see quite a lot of comments from you guys in the videos on what kind of light schedule we're running for autos and what we think is the best.
We've tried a couple different light schedules for autos, and if you guys don't already know, you do not flip your lights for autos. Some people actually have asked that.
Yeah.
Kind of a little humorous, but
So, yeah, you don't have to flip with auto, guys, if you're not familiar or you're a beginner just starting out and you're looking at light schedules or trying to understand, you know, what's going to be the best for an auto flower strain that you might be trying to grow. You know, we have tried a bunch of different schedules and things like that. And really, they'll grow on any schedule you do, but it's going to have an impact on the performance of how that plant grows.
yes. I currently do an 18 on 6 off light schedule right now, and I find, and I've always done that, I've ran that since the beginning, and I have not found any issues with running 18.6, and I actually prefer it over even more light as kind of a newer grower. And you've tried more light before.
Yeah, so starting, if you guys remember, in the 2x4 vids and the 4x4 at the beginning, Highigan has always been running 18.6 in the 5x5s and the organic grows, and pretty much ever since we started growing at your house,
Yeah.
18.6 is what we've been on, other than we did some photos in the very beginning. But with autos, really, 18.6 is your minimum that you're really going to want to run. I mean, you can definitely do them in 12.12, and we've seen people run autos in with their flowering photos. But you know, you're really, auto flowers are really, the way they're bred with the ruderalis genetics, like they're really designed for more consistent light from the northern hemisphere. They just get more exposure, and they really perform better with more lights on than off. And you can even run them 24 hours with 0 lights off, and they'll still perform just as well.
And honestly, that's why they call them autos.
Autos. There is no switch. It doesn't need that switch to trigger the flowering. They're going to flower on their own no matter what.
So, so as a new grower, I just found that 18.6 was probably the best. It was the best for energy. Honestly, I was spending less money doing less light with the most possible light that's gonna help my flower, I think, as a new grower. And there are a lot of people that actually have higher light schedules. Like I said, you've tried higher light schedules before. How did that turn out for you?
Yeah, so I was running the 24, 20 on, 4 off with mine, and you were running the 18.6. So we were, you know, growing side by side in the channel, you know, doing that. And I wasn't really seeing any kind of higher yields or better production with the 24, even though I was running my lights longer, using more electricity, you know, generates more heat in the tent, more wear and tear on the lights because you're running them longer, and things like that. So what I ended up doing is actually switching to what you were doing, 18.6, because I felt like my growing skills are not really there yet. You know, I wasn't really mastering my grows. And I think that's what we kind of both agree on as a beginner. If you're just getting started and you're trying to figure out what light schedule you should do for an auto, we highly recommend 18.6 because that's going to give you the best performance for your plant in the type of genetics that it is, or being an auto flower. And it's going to give you, you know, the least wear and tear on the light, your lower electric bill, a little bit easier to control your environment and stuff like that, because you're really probably not going to see a vast increase in your yields by going higher. You're just going to be spending more money, more wear and tear, maybe a little harder to control your environment with more lights on. So I transitioned over to 18.6 and, great results. And I feel like you should almost kind of stick with that until you've kind of found your groove in growing.
Now, there are a lot of growers that do just do 24 hours, and autos can grow under that. They can, and it's been proven, and they will. I just personally, I don't know why, I believe that giving the plant a little bit of a break does something for it. It's just something I believe. But I think rather than focus on your light schedule, you should maybe focus on your light intensity, when to raise and lower your light, and how your plant responds to that.
Yeah. And I think a big part of starting with the 18.6 as a beginner grower is because you're going to be learning a lot. You're going to be running into a lot of issues. There's really not much sense in spending, more money, more wear and tear on your equipment while you're learning. Obviously, once there's so many different facets to growing, like, what kind of medium are you using? What kind of nutrient systems are you running? There's soil, organic, cocoa,
a lot of questions to ask.
Hydro, there's a million different ways to grow. So whatever method you choose in the beginning when you're starting out, it's going to take you time to dial that in and really get good, consistent results from your plants.
Yes.
So it doesn't really make much sense to spend more money.
Which is something we are still learning.
And we are still learning, and we're still seeing great results. Getting, as we try different methods for a flex, we're starting to see, 11-ounce yields off single plants running 18.6. And as we get better, once we can really dial it in, I think you might see benefits going to that longer schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You might see increased yields and stuff like that at the end. But as you're learning, it doesn't really make much sense. So we really recommend everybody start at 18.6 and kind of go from there, because it's going to take you definitely probably a year at least of growing and running plants out to dial your method.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost 2 years in, and we're still learning.
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
We have way more to learn.
Yeah, it's definitely, we feel like, the best starting point. Not only for efficiency and cost savings, but just getting you the best results while you're learning.
Agreed.
And then ramp it up. But definitely, let us know in the comments below, guys. What do you run and why?
Yeah.
And do you see higher yields than when you ran before? And what is your growing skill level?
I've never ran anything other than that 18.6. So if you guys are seeing different things personally, maybe shoot a comment.
Yeah, and running longer light schedules can introduce other problems too, like light stress and things like that. The LED lights these days are really high power, and you can definitely stress your plant out from just too much light or being too close and things like that. So as you're learning and stuff like that, you'll learn how to dial the lights in, the heights, the intensity, and it that factors can change based on what kind of lights you're using and what kind of technology
and down to your genetics.
Yeah, and down to the genetics and how they respond. So that all plays into that. So that's why we really recommend starting off right at the best. Optimal 18.6 is going to give you your best auto results and then
save you a little bit of money.
Save the money. So that's what we do, guys, and that's kind of our opinion and take on it and what we've been doing. Having tried higher, going back down to 18.6, I really feel like I wasn't really getting any more benefits out of the 24. Maybe in a couple more years when we're really killing the growth, we'll go back and we'll do that again and see if we can get higher yields out of things that we know we can grow consistently. But I feel like
well, coming back to focusing on your intensity, like I honestly, the only thing I really focus on when it comes to my light is just raising my plant and the flowers when they do start to flower out higher to the light, or even raising the intensity of my light. Those are things I'm more focused on than the actual schedule.
Learning the signs of what too much light looks like, tackling of top leaves when they flip and try and turn over because the light's too intense, light bleaching. These are all things that you'll learn as you're growing and starting out and learning the light and how it performs at different brightness levels and things like that. It's just our little take on autos and light schedules. Don't flip them. You guys don't have to flip. That was a joke. Sorry if it made you guys upset. We know autos you don't have to flip, but we do.
Did we trigger some people?
We love the autos. Maybe somebody out there in the comments. You don't have to flip the lights.
We know.
We know, but we love you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, smash that like button. If you guys have any other ideas for topics or videos you'd like to see from us, definitely drop in the comments below. We'd love the feedback.
Yeah.
And we just want to share little tidbits and things that we've found over our growing journey so far. So hopefully it helps you guys out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Smash that like. Give us a follow on Instagram if you guys want to see some behind the scenes stuff. Join our channel members for exclusive content, behind the scenes videos, and so much more.